A husband secretly took nude photos of his wife and invited 72 other men to sleep with her. This shocking revelation sent shockwaves across France when it broke in the media. How could something so horrifying happen to a couple who had been married for nearly 50 years? Let's dive in. This is the story of Dominique and Gisele Pelicot. Both were born in 1952. Gisele was born in West Germany to a French family. Her father served in the military, and despite losing her mother when she was just 9 years old, she described her childhood as happy. At the age of 20, she met her husband, whom she said had a difficult childhood. Gisele worked in administration at the state electricity company, while Dominique worked as an electrician and estate agent, starting several businesses that ultimately ended in failure. Then they married in 1973. Before the scandal came to light, they appeared to be an ordinary couple with a long and stable history together. They spent decades building a life in the Paris suburb of Villiers-sur-Marne, raising 3 children. They divorced briefly in 2001 due to financial reasons when Dominique's businesses failed, but continued living together, remarrying in 2007. In 2013, upon retiring, the couple moved to the picturesque town of Mazan, Vaucluse, a small town northeast of Avignon, in southeastern France. Gisele joined a choir and Dominique took up sport and cycling. To the outside world, their relationship seemed typical of a long-married couple enjoying retirement. Gisele described herself as a loving and devoted wife, while Dominique appeared to be a caring husband. However, beneath the surface, Dominique harbored a dark and sinister side. All of this began to unravel when Dominique was in the Leclerc shopping center. Thibaut Ray, 38, spotted the repeat offender taking images of 3 women. Ray said he watched Dominique on CCTV and saw he positioned the camera on his phone to film the underwear of unsuspecting women. Here is the footage of Dominique's arrest.
Mass rape trial in French history.
Il est en train de filmer sur votre robe le téléphone comme ça à l'instant. Vous avez de la chance, je vous jure, c'est ma mère, je vous arrache la tête. Madame, je compte sur vous, vous portez plainte. Allez, police, tu me les appelles maintenant.
We worked out that the phone was jutting out of this bag, and he was filming up their skirts. We saw him do this to 3 women, and he was obviously pretty good at it. It didn't look like the first time he had done it, said Ray to the reporter. When the 38-year-old security guard found the first victim, she didn't want to report it because she was running out of time. But when his co-worker in the surveillance room told him that he was still seeing another woman, he decided to confront him directly. He said he used strong-arm approach to make the victim understand the seriousness of the offense. He was thinking of his mother and sister, who shop here, so it got a bit personal. Ray took Pelicot's phone and held him by the arm until the police arrived. Pelicot didn't resist, he froze with terror. Ray saw the fear in his eyes. As part of the investigation, police searched Dominique's home and electronic devices. What they discovered went far beyond the initial voyeurism charge. On a USB stick connected to Dominique's computer, investigators discovered a folder titled Abuses, containing more than 20,000 images and videos of his unconscious wife being raped. The videos were carefully organized, with explicit titles and the names of the men involved. The investigation revealed that he had solicited men to rape his wife on a forum called, without her knowledge, on the coco.fr website. In the forum, Dominique invited other men to rape his wife, and Skype messages were also found where he bragged about drugging her and offering her to strangers for assault. The investigators identified 92 separate instances of rape involving 72 different men between July 2011 and October 2020. It took police 2 years to identify and locate 50 of the perpetrators, with the rest remaining unknown. The men ranged in age from 21 to 68 at the time of the assaults. Additionally, images were found on Dominique's computer of his daughters-in-law in the shower, taken with a hidden camera, and of his semi-naked daughter, Caroline Darien, unconscious on a bed, as if she had been drugged. The arrest of Dominique Pelicot in a supermarket was the unexpected trigger that revealed one of France's most shocking cases of sexual abuse. Dominique Pelicot, along with 50 other men accused of rape, attempted rape, or sexual assault, stood trial in Avignon starting on September 2, 2024. The trial concluded on December 16, with verdicts delivered on December 19. All 50 defendants were convicted, with Dominique receiving the maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. He was also found guilty of taking indecent images of his daughter and 2 daughters-in-law and attempting to rape the wife of co-defendant Jean-Pierre Marichal, who was convicted of drugging and raping his own wife. Gisele's brave decision to waive her right to anonymity and demand a public trial brought global media attention and widespread admiration for her courage. The trial highlighted the issue of drug-facilitated sexual assault and the complexities surrounding consent. This discovery turned what initially seemed like a minor crime into a full-blown investigation of an unprecedented scale. Dominique's arrest marked the beginning of the unearthing of nearly a decade of systematic abuse that had gone unnoticed, even by Gisele herself. The case would later lead to one of the largest and most publicized rape trials in France's history, exposing the depths of Dominique's betrayal and the courage of Gisele in fighting for justice. Unfortunately, Gisele was diagnosed with 4 different sexually transmitted diseases or STDs that she had contracted as a result of the abuse, further highlighting the horrific nature of the assaults she endured over several years. Despite the overwhelming emotional and physical toll, Gisele's courage in speaking out and seeking justice has been a crucial part of the case and has brought attention to the issue of long-term, drug-facilitated sexual abuse. Public support for Gisele Pelicot has been significant and widespread, particularly after her decision to waive her right to anonymity and speak out about the horrific abuse she endured. Her courage in insisting on a public trial and her willingness to share her story brought attention to issues of sexual violence, particularly drug-facilitated rape and the complexities of consent. Many people, both in France and internationally, have expressed admiration for her resilience in the face of such profound trauma. Support has come from various quarters, including women's rights groups, activists, and members of the public who have been deeply moved by her bravery. Gisele has been viewed as a symbol of strength, and her actions have sparked broader conversations about sexual assault, victim blaming, and the importance of believing survivors. Her case also drew attention to the failings of systems that allow such abuse to go unnoticed for years, leading to discussions about the need for better protection for vulnerable individuals and stronger legal measures to address sexual violence. In the aftermath of the trial, Gisele's decision to speak out has been celebrated as an act of defiance against the stigma surrounding sexual abuse survivors. Gisele Pelicot's children have expressed strong condemnation of their father, Dominique Pelicot, following the revelations of his horrific abuse. They have publicly acknowledged the trauma and betrayal caused by their father's actions, particularly in relation to the abuse their mother endured. In interviews and statements, Gisele's children have made it clear that they had no knowledge of what was happening to their mother and were deeply shocked by the extent of the abuse. They have also shown support for their mother's decision to speak out, admiring her strength and bravery in coming forward with her story. Their reaction reflects a mixture of anger, disbelief, and a desire for justice, as they cope with the devastating truth about their father's crimes. The family's public statements emphasize their solidarity with Gisele, acknowledging the immense courage it took for her to endure such abuse and then fight for justice.